Every man you've ever dated has a secret wish list. And here's the twist, it's not the one you think. It's not about expensive gifts, constant praise, or endless attention. It's about moments so rare and unexpected that when they happen, they stay burned into his memory forever. Bold physical initiation is one of the most surprising and impactful ways a woman can deepen attraction, yet it's something many men rarely experience. In the early stages of dating and even in long-term relationships, men are often expected to be the ones who initiate touch, closeness, and intimacy. That cultural script can create an imbalance, where he's always reaching out while she's mostly responding. When a woman flips that expectation and confidently makes the first move physically, it sends a powerful and exciting message. It says she wants him, not just that she's willing to be wanted. For many men, physical initiation isn't just about the act itself, but about the meaning behind it. It tells them they're desirable, that their presence inspires action, and that they're not alone in carrying the weight of keeping the spark alive. Imagine a man coming home after a long day, expecting a quiet evening, only to have his partner step forward, wrap her arms around him, and kiss him with deliberate intent. That shift from routine to intentional intimacy can completely change his mood and energy. It's not just physical, it's emotional reassurance disguised as touch. The impact is even greater in the context of dating. If a man is always the one leaning in first, putting his hand on her back, or initiating a kiss, he may begin to wonder if she's as invested in the connection as he is. When she takes that step first, whether by holding his hand mid-walk, playfully brushing against him, or leaning in for an unprompted kiss, it eliminates doubt. It tells him she's not just enjoying the attention, she's actively participating in building the chemistry. Boldness here doesn't mean being aggressive or overwhelming. It's about intentionality and confidence. The initiation can be small and playful, like tucking his hair back from his face, fixing his collar while making eye contact, or pulling him closer during a conversation. Those little moments can carry as much weight as grand gestures because they are unexpected and deeply personal. The effect is amplified when it's clear the action is driven by genuine attraction rather than habit. There's also an important psychological aspect to this dynamic. When a woman takes initiative, she shifts the balance of pursuit in a healthy way. Men enjoy feeling desired just as much as women do, but they rarely get to experience it in such a direct, unmistakable form. It's the difference between wondering if someone's interested and knowing without a doubt. That certainty builds confidence, deepens trust, and increases the emotional investment both ways. Over time, consistent but varied physical initiation keeps the relationship from settling into complacency. Whether it's a spontaneous embrace, a playful push, or a decisive first kiss, each act creates a small ripple that recharges the attraction. For the man, these moments become memories that reinforce the idea that his partner doesn't just wait for romance to happen, she creates it. Playful dominance is one of those elements in attraction that's often overlooked, yet it has the power to completely shift the chemistry between two people. Many women are taught to be polite, accommodating, and agreeable in dating, which can lead to interactions that feel pleasant but lack that electric edge. Playful dominance isn't about being aggressive or overbearing. It's about introducing a teasing authority that keeps a man on his toes and makes the connection feel more dynamic. It taps into a psychological contrast men find deeply engaging. A woman who is warm and feminine, yet not afraid to set the tone or give a little direction when the moment calls for it. This kind of dominance comes through in subtle, unexpected ways. It might be the woman who, mid-conversation, takes his phone and puts it down, saying, "You're with me right now, no distractions." It could be lightly telling him where to sit, ordering for him at a restaurant as a surprise, or giving him a playful challenge like, "I bet you can't guess what I'm thinking right now." These moments aren't about control in the serious sense. They're about creating an atmosphere where the usual roles get blurred and both people can lean into a different side of themselves. For a man, being with someone who can occasionally flip the script is refreshing because it breaks routine and sparks curiosity. Men are often used to being the initiators, the planners, the decision makers. That consistency can be exhausting even if they enjoy it. When a woman confidently steps into that role in a playful way, it tells him that she's not afraid to disrupt the expected flow. It also communicates a certain confidence. She's secure enough to take the lead in a way that still leaves room for him to be himself. That blend of assertiveness and playfulness hits a sweet spot where attraction thrives. It's different from being bossy because the intent isn't to dominate for dominance's sake. It's to inject energy, flirtation, and unpredictability into the interaction. Another important element of playful dominance is that it often comes with an undercurrent of intimacy. The act of lightly commanding someone or teasing them in a confident tone creates a charged energy that feels both safe and exciting. It's a way of saying, I'm engaged with you, I see you, and I'm willing to push the boundaries of our dynamic. That's inherently attractive because it invites him to respond, challenge back, or play along, which can turn into a flirtatious back and forth that builds tension. The key is balance. Too much dominance without warmth can feel cold or controlling, while too much softness without any challenge can lead to predictability. When a woman can combine a genuine smile, a spark in her eyes, and a moment of playful authority, it lands as a flirtation rather than a demand. It becomes a way of reminding him that attraction isn't just about comfort, it's also about surprise, tension, and the thrill of not knowing exactly what she'll do next. Deep admiration, openly expressed, is one of the most underestimated forces in creating lasting attraction and emotional security for men. While women often receive frequent compliments in dating on their looks, style, or personality, men tend to hear them far less, especially in a way that feels genuine and specific. Many men go through life with a quiet hunger for acknowledgement, not just for what they do, but for who they are. When admiration is offered sincerely, it doesn't just make them feel good in the moment. It becomes a lasting reminder that they are seen, valued, and respected by someone they care about. This isn't about flattery for the sake of flattery. Empty praise is easy to spot, and men, just like women, can tell when someone's words are superficial. Deep admiration means noticing the qualities, actions, and choices that reveal character, effort, and growth. It's telling a man, I respect how you handled that situation, or I love how much passion you put into your work, rather than sticking to generic lines like, you're great. The key is specificity. Naming exactly what you appreciate lets him know that you've truly been paying attention. That kind of validation doesn't just stroke his ego, it reinforces his sense of identity and worth in the relationship. Many men are conditioned to be providers, problem solvers, and protectors. Those roles can be fulfilling, but they also come with pressure, and that pressure can sometimes make a man feel invisible beyond what he provides. When admiration is given, not only for his achievements, but also for his intentions, his values, and his personal growth, it shifts the dynamic. It tells him that he is more than his output, that his presence and his character are enough. This creates a deeper emotional connection because it meets a need he might not even voice, the need to be appreciated without conditions. There's also a public dimension to this that can be surprisingly impactful. Many men feel proud, even a little vulnerable, when a woman they care about expresses admiration in front of others. It could be as simple as mentioning his kindness to friends, praising his creativity in a group setting, or acknowledging his support during a tough time. Public affirmation carries weight because it communicates pride in being associated with him, which in turn boosts his confidence confidence and sense of value. The beauty of deep admiration is that it often inspires reciprocity. When a man feels genuinely appreciated, he naturally becomes more motivated to invest in the relationship. He's more likely to open up, show affection, and take initiative because he feels secure and acknowledged. It's not manipulation, it's the natural result of creating an environment where both people feel valued. At its core, openly expressed admiration is about looking past the obvious and recognizing the substance of a person. For a man, hearing that from a woman he respects can be as powerful as any grand romantic gesture, and often far more lasting. Visionary partnership energy is about bringing more to a relationship than just shared experiences. It's about inspiring growth, creating a sense of forward motion, and expanding each other's horizons. While attraction can begin with chemistry and compatibility, long-term connection thrives when both people feel they are moving towards something bigger together. Many men crave a partner who not only supports their goals, but actively sparks new ones, someone who helps them see possibilities they might not have imagined on their own. This is different from pushing or pressuring. It's about influence, inspiration, and shared vision. When a woman brings visionary energy, she's not simply a cheerleader, nodding along to his ideas. She's a collaborator in his evolution. This can look like introducing him to new experiences that challenge his thinking, suggesting creative approaches to a project he's working on, or engaging him in conversations that push him to think beyond what's immediately in front of him. The tone matters as much as the content. Instead of dictating what he should do, it's about asking thought-provoking questions like, what would it look like if you went even bigger with this idea? Or, have you ever thought about taking that talent into a completely different space? These kinds of questions ignite ambition rather than impose direction. Men often feel pressure to have all the answers, to always know where they're going and how they'll get there. A visionary partner offers a refreshing alternative, someone who isn't there to judge or evaluate, but to explore and imagine alongside them. She sees not just who he is now, but who he could become, and she treats that potential as something worth nurturing. This creates an environment where he feels safe enough to dream out loud, even about ideas that are half-formed or unconventional. That safety is key because it allows him to drop the guardedness he might show in the outside world. This energy also works both ways. A man who experiences this type of partnership naturally wants to reciprocate, supporting her goals and encouraging her ambitions. The relationship becomes a space where both people feel they can take risks, knowing they have someone in their corner. Over time, this shared growth creates a bond that's not just emotional, but also strategic. Two people who are allies in creating a life that excites them. Another dimension of visionary partnership is that it keeps attraction alive through curiosity. When a woman challenges a man to think differently, to aim higher, or to consider paths he's never taken, she becomes more than just a companion. She becomes a source of inspiration. That's intoxicating because it ties attraction to both the present moment and the future. He's not just drawn to her for who she is now, but for the way she continually shapes how he sees the world. Ultimately, visionary partnership energy turns a relationship into a shared adventure. It creates a rhythm where both people are not only enjoying each other's company, but also building something together that's greater than the sum of its parts. When we think about attraction, leadership is one of those qualities we automatically associate with men. Movies, TV, even the way many people talk about relationships, all of it reinforces the idea that men are supposed to be the ones taking charge, making the plans, and setting the tone. While it's true that a lot of men enjoy leading in certain areas, what doesn't get talked about enough is how much they appreciate it when a woman steps into that role, even if just occasionally. It's not about reversing roles completely, but about balance, variety, and the subtle thrill that comes when someone does what you least expect. Emotional leadership is one of the most underestimated tools a woman can bring into a relationship, and yet it's one of the things men often seek secretly crave. Emotional leadership isn't about controlling someone's feelings. It's about setting a tone, creating an atmosphere, and sometimes guiding the connection in a direction that makes it more exciting, intimate, or purposeful. Imagine a man who always chooses the restaurant, always texts first to arrange plans, and always takes on the responsibility of keeping things moving. On the surface, that might seem fine. He's reliable, decisive, and consistent. But over time, that constant responsibility can feel like a weight. Men, just like women, want to feel chosen, pursued, and surprised. When a woman takes the reins by saying, "I've got us a reservation at this place you've never been to," or "Clear your Saturday afternoon, I've planned something," it creates a shift. It tells him that the relationship isn't a one-way street and that his partner is just as invested in creating moments as he is. Part of what makes this so powerful is the element of unpredictability. When a woman leads emotionally, she interrupts the expected rhythm. A man might go into a date assuming he'll be the one who has to create the magic. Instead, he finds himself in a situation where she's already set the scene, maybe chosen something tailored to his interests, and thought through the details. This kind of gesture doesn't just relieve pressure, it makes him feel seen. It shows she notices what he likes and cares enough to turn it into reality. It's not just about effort, it's about intention. Another layer to emotional leadership is being willing to steer conversations into meaningful territory. Many men long for deeper conversations that go beyond the surface, but they don't always feel comfortable being the one to initiate them. A woman who says, "I've been thinking about what drives you in life," or "Tell me the story behind that ambition you have," is taking a subtle lead in intimacy. She's guiding him into a space where he can open up in ways he might not usually feel encouraged to. This is a form of leadership that builds trust, connection, and emotional safety, all without diminishing his own role in the relationship. It's important to understand that emotional leadership isn't about overpowering him or taking control all the time. In fact, part of what makes it so effective is that it's used in moments, not constantly. That contrast, the alternation between his leadership and hers, keeps the dynamic fresh and engaging. It's like dancing. Sometimes you follow, sometimes you lead, but both roles keep the dance alive. For a man, having a woman confidently step forward and say, "I've got this one," is both a relief and a turn on, because it breaks monotony and introduces a sense of partnership. Men won't often articulate this desire openly, partly because they don't want to seem like they're asking for less independence, and partly because they've been conditioned to believe that they should always be the driver in a relationship. But when a woman takes emotional leadership in a way that feels authentic, it creates a moment where he gets to relax into the connection and simply enjoy being on the receiving end of care and initiative. It makes him feel valued, chosen, and most importantly, excited to see what she might do next. Unapologetic sensuality is about fully embracing and expressing one's sensual nature without holding back out of fear, shame, or self-consciousness. Many women are conditioned to tone down their sensuality, to only express it in certain contexts, or to wait for a man to draw it out of them. While subtlety can have its charm, men are often deeply drawn to a woman who confidently owns her sensual side and allows it to be part of the relationship without apology. It's not just about physical attraction, it's about the energy she brings into her presence, the way she moves, speaks, and connects in a way that's deliberate, self-assured, and inviting. This kind of sensuality doesn't need to be loud or overt. It's in the way she maintains eye contact a beat longer than expected, the way she touches his arm while laughing, or how she leans in during a conversation so he feels her full attention. These small actions, when done without hesitation, create a current of intimacy that men find magnetic. It's not only about aesthetics or appearance, it's about intention. She's not performing to get approval. She's expressing a truth about herself that she enjoys and is unafraid to share. Unapologetic sensuality also involves comfort with one's own body. This doesn't mean conforming to a certain physical ideal, but rather embodying the belief that sensual energy comes from self-acceptance. A woman who feels good in her skin radiates a different kind of confidence. She doesn't second-guess her movements, shy away from touch, or downplay her desires. That authenticity is powerful because it signals to a man that she's not looking for permission to be attractive. She already knows she is, and she enjoys expressing it. For men, being with a woman who has this energy is intoxicating because it removes the guessing game around desire. She isn't hesitant about initiating closeness, voicing what she enjoys, or letting her interest show. That openness creates a feedback loop where both people feel freer to express themselves, leading to a richer and more satisfying physical and emotional connection. Men often find this level of confidence rare, which is why it stands out so strongly when they encounter it. There's also an element of play in unapologetic sensuality. It's not just about seduction in a serious sense. It can be light-hearted, teasing, and spontaneous. A playful smirk across the room, a whisper in his ear at the right moment, or a slow, deliberate gesture that catches his attention. All of these are ways to weave sensuality into everyday life. When done without hesitation, these moments become signature interactions that make the connection feel unique and personal. What makes unapologetic sensuality so impactful is that it's as much about mindset as it is about behavior. It's the refusal to shrink, to dim one's presence, or to filter self-expression through fear of judgment. That kind of confidence not only draws a man in, it keeps him engaged, curious, and eager to experience more of the connection she's willing to create. At the heart of it all, these 5 positions men often beg for, but women rarely try, aren't about flipping traditional roles for the sake of it. They're about deepening connection through surprise, confidence, and intentionality. When a woman steps into emotional leadership, plays with dominance, offers deep admiration, boldly initiates physically, fuels visionary partnership, and embraces her unapologetic sensuality, she shifts the relationship from predictable to electric. These moments tell a man he's not just wanted, he's chosen, inspired, and seen in ways he may rarely experience. And in a world where so many relationships fade into routine, those acts of courage and creativity aren't just attractive, they're unforgettable.